needs. So hopefully America will realize that Israel is a needed ally in military terms, but in economic terms, quite the contrary. It is not helping Israel by giving it economic aid. Yes, sir.
Rabbi, following that point, what would be the basis then of Israel's relations to its neighbors? What would be the self-interest between Israel and its surrounding neighbors if, as you say, the expulsion of the Arabs would produce peace?
No.
What then is the basis for the self-interest between the nations that would prevent war?
Excuse me.
Yes.
I would appreciate it very much if you would identify yourself and your statement. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I certainly never said that any of my policies would lead to peace. I said just the opposite. No policies will lead to peace.
So you believe war is inevitable?
I didn't say that. You can go for many, many years with neither war nor peace. We went for 11 years with neither war nor peace with Nasser, which proves that the present state of no war with Egypt is not necessarily peace. Nevertheless, I'm convinced that the Arabs will not start a war with an Israel which is led by people that they believe are extremists. The Arabs would have never started a war with Begin. I think that Arabs start war with weak prime ministers. If Meir Kahane would be the prime minister, he would be the last person in the world that the Arabs would start a war with. We have nuclear weapons. Let's hope to God that we never have to use it. Let's hope to God that this country never has to use its weapons. But if America didn't have nuclear weapons, the Russians would be sitting right now in this press club. And you wouldn't. The same thing goes for Israel. There's no question that Syria is reaching some kind of parity with Israel in weapons, conventional weapons. There's no question that Israel will have to use its ace card as a warning, as a threat. The question is it a credible threat? Under Shimon Peres, it may not be. Under a Sharon or a Kahane, it would be. I don't expect peace and I don't expect war. I expect a continuation of this present cold peace or hot peace or anything, or the state of no war, no peace until the Messiah comes, and hopefully that will come soon. Yes.
My name is Rabbi Meir.
Pardon?
I'm identifying myself. I wanted to ask if the Arabs in the West Bank and the occupied territories were refused to be expelled or to leave the country.
Louder, please.
If the Arabs in Israel refused to leave the country, are you willing to massacre them?
I haven't got the slightest fear that the Arabs will leave the country or not leave the country. Madam, 12 million Germans did not want to leave Poland and Czechoslovakia. When the army has the weapons and you don't have the weapons, you leave. You may not want to, but you leave. There will be no massacres.
Yes. But don't you think they will all turn, like 1 million and 1.3 million, will all turn against Israel? What you call them terrorists, they will be. How could you ensure the safety of one Israeli person 1 meter outside of Israel? In any airport?
How do I ensure that now? Until Kahane came, there was no terror. It's only Kahane that threatens Israel with Arab terror. What kind of nonsense is that? First of all, when there are no Arabs inside Israel, one thing is guaranteed: there will be no bombs inside Israel. I go to funerals every week in Israel. Those bombs and those bullets were not caused by Arabs in Lebanon, but by Arabs who live inside Israel. There will not be terror inside Israel. The question of terror outside Israel is not there won't be the slightest difference between Kahane or Abba Eban. So therefore, we expect terror, not only against Jews, but against many, many other peoples. We would hope that the world will deal with that terror. If Meir Kahane would be there, I can assure you that Syria will, if Syria plans terror against Jews outside of Israel, Syria will feel terror in Damascus. Yes, sir.
Yes, Rabbi Kahane, you indicated that the Palestinians should create a state in Jordan if they want a homeland. How do you think King Hussein would react to that kind of a proposition? Do you think he would?
I couldn't care less. That's his problem. That's his problem. First of all, what in the world makes Jordan a legal state? The League of Nations in 1919 created a mandate for the creation of a Jewish state on both sides of the Jordan, and Britain was made the mandatory power to carry out the wishes of the League. In 1922, the British, by fiat, and in contravention of the League, cut off the east bank of the Jordan for its own puppet, the grandfather of this present puppet, and called it Transjordan. He has his problems. We have our problems. Let him worry about the Palestinians, who at this moment make up 75% of his present country. Yes, I want to get people.
I'm interested in that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bob Whitten from Mutual News.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any indication as a member of the Knesset that Israel was working with the United States to move arms to Iran? Did you ever see any evidence of that?
No. But rumors have been floating about Israel for at least 2 years. And I want to say right now that the fact that Israel was involved with this in no way makes it better. Something which is wrong doesn't become better because Israel did it. I think it's a tragedy. I think it's insanity. I think it undercuts everything that Israel says about not doing business with terrorists. I find it hard to believe. I can only hope that the Washington Post story, as so many others, is not true. Yes, sir.
You said a few moments ago that we have nuclear weapons. Is that a confirmation that the state of Israel has nuclear weapons?
Of course it has. In fact, I am constantly shocked that people are shocked that someone comes out and says that Israel has those weapons. Why should we hide it? Why should we hide it? Do you believe that Libya is waiting for Israel to have weapons? Do you believe that Syria is not trying to get atomic weapons, and that only if Israel has it, then they'll get it? Of course not. Of course not. So, and I'm not so sure what the ethical difference between a conventional weapon and any other kind of weapon is. A blockbuster during World War II busted many blocks, and I don't know how moral that weapon was. Weapons are not moral. Weapons are tragically necessary, but never moral. Yes, sir.
I'm from Al-Ahram, Egypt.
Yes.
Sir, if I understand you clearly, you mean that you are threatening the Arabs, the area, that you can use your atomic weapons. Let me finish my question.
Yes, certainly.
What is the real value of peace which is supposed to be existing between Egypt and Israel, and the peace which you are calling for between Israel and the Arab countries?
To begin with, I would not give 2 grosh for the peace between Israel and Egypt, to be quite frank. And if I were Lloyd's of London, I would not insure the life of your president. What will happen when radicals in Egypt will do to him what was done to the previous one? Sir, just one moment. You were talking about peace. I don't believe that there are Arab moderates. I believe that there are 2 kinds of Arabs, clever ones and not clever ones. Egypt is a clever country. It realizes that it cannot beat Israel in a war, having tried 5 times and lost 5 times. And so, in peace, you got back the entire Sinai. An incredible tragedy on the part of Begin. Nevertheless, it was done. It will not be done with any other parts